Hi, and welcome to the session on how to manage your emotions from careerright.com. Emotions are universal. Each of us has them all the time. Sometimes they are of happiness, joy, thrill, while at others they are of frustration, anger, sadness, etc. It is not important to manage just the negative emotions, but it is equally important to manage the positive ones also. If we carefully observe our emotions, we will find all the information about why we do things the way we do them. Managing our emotions means understanding and using them in a way that they will benefit us. Once we are able to recognize our emotions, we can very easily modify our actions and influence the final outcome. Many of us believe that it is the actions of other people which trigger our emotions. However, the matter of fact is it is our own beliefs about a situation or person which are the reason behind our emotions. Hence, the power to manage them lies only and only with us. Now, let us see the various components of emotions. There are basically three components of your system of emotions. It is extremely important for all these three components to work in close conjunction with each other to ensure that your emotional responses to an event, situation, or behavior are well composed. These three components are your thoughts, the physiological changes you experience with an emotion, and your actions which are driven by your thoughts. Managing your emotions means taking control of these three components and ensuring that they behave as you want them to. Now let us see how to control the three components of your emotion system. To do this, the first thing you need to do is to control your thoughts. Whenever we are faced with a distressful situation, we get some immediate thoughts related to the event or the person. These thoughts are out of our control, distorted, and disturb our ability to think rationally. The distorted thinking related to these thoughts is often difficult to control and can cause unnecessary physiological changes in the body, leading to distorted actions. Here are some tips to avoid distorted thinking. First of all, recognize that these are distorted thoughts, which means as soon as you get into the mode of distorted thinking, you must immediately recognize that these are distorted thoughts which need to be shut down. Do not get into overgeneralization mode and avoid negative labeling. While in distorted thinking mode, we start overgeneralizing the things which intensifies our emotions. For example, if your boss refuses your application for vacation, you start thinking that he is always inconsiderate, doesn't think about the staff, etc., etc. While in reality, you may actually appreciate your boss for a lot of things he has done for the staff, and he might look inconsiderate only in this particular matter. So, don't overgeneralize and label him as always inconsiderate. However, you may think that boss looks a bit inconsiderate in this particular matter, which he generally is not. Now, don't try to read other person's mind. In distressful situations, we start imagining what the other person might be thinking. Our imaginations have no limits and may at times be very wild, further aggravating the problem. Rather than imagining, it is a better idea to go and ask them about their thoughts about that particular incident. For example, when your boss questions your plan of action a lot during the meeting, he is not necessarily doubting your abilities or the plan. Maybe he needs more information to make sure that the plan takes off well. So, rather than imagining that boss is not sure about the plan, it is better to ask him his views about it. You may be surprised to know that he does like the idea but needs more information. The next thing is lower your expectation about others' behavior. We usually have a tendency to expect how others should behave with us in this situation. They might not behave according to our expectations, as they have their own perceptions about the situation or the event or the person. This further aggravates our emotions. For example, after a hot discussion in the meeting room, you may expect your colleague to come and apologize to you, which he might not do. He might not consider it as a mistake, as according to him, he has just put his opinion across and doesn't find it necessary to apologize. The next thing is, do not overemphasize upon the importance of any particular event. Many a times we lay so much importance to a particular event that we think or talk about it all the time. In such a situation, we block all other productive emotions which can actually benefit us. Overemphasizing upon the importance of something turns your wild worries into anxiety and tension. For example, if you have not been able to finish a project on time because of some reasons, you may think to yourself that, oh God, this looks like the end of my job. The boss is extremely unhappy and he may fire me. However, the boss may not fire you for just one missed deadline if you communicate properly with her. She may be unhappy about it, but thinking about it as the end of your job is the result of overemphasis and actually increases your anxiety level. However, if you tell yourself, I know I'm going to miss this deadline, though I've tried to do my best. Let me go and talk to the boss and seek her help to finish it quickly. You will see your worries diminishing and your productivity increasing. Now that we have learned to control the first component of our emotion system, that is our thoughts, let us move on to learn controlling the next one. That is the physiological changes associated with each emotion. You would notice that each emotion that you experience is associated with some or other physiological changes. For example, when you are happy, you are able to breathe more easily, you may have a smile on your face, while when you are angry, your heartbeat gets faster, you breathe heavily, and may notice some drops of sweat on your forehead. Nervousness may leave you with warm cheeks or butterflies in the stomach. All of us experience these or some other changes in our body in distressful moments. It is difficult to control an emotion once it takes over, while it is much easier to prevent it if you are able to recognize that an emotion is about to take over. So, how can you use your physiological changes as a sign to identify that an emotion is about to take over and control them? Here are some tips. 1. Learn to associate emotions with physiological changes. If you observe yourself, you would notice that you feel some of the above listed changes in your body during a distressful situation. You may also observe some other changes peculiar to your body. Try to identify them and associate them with your emotions. Second, notice the physiological changes as soon as they appear. Once you have identified the type of physiological changes your body experiences in a situation, it will be easier for you to notice them as soon as the signs appear in your body. You will be able to tell yourself, my hands are shaking, I'm starting to feel nervous, or the heartbeat is increasing and my cheeks are getting warm, I'm starting to feel angry. A problem well diagnosed is half solved. Once you have identified these changes, you can take measures to put them to rest. Let us see what these measures can be and how you can use them. In a distressful situation, the oxygen supply in our body reduces, which increases the heartbeat and respiratory rate or makes the stomach feel butterflies. 3. Practice relaxation techniques like deep breathing, meditation, etc. on a regular basis. During the process, learn to associate some words or sounds like om or peace or the relaxing sound of water movement in a lake with relaxation and peace. The regular practice conditions your mind to accept these words and sounds as soon as you call them in an event of distress. So, if you take deep breaths as soon as you notice the respiratory rate or heartbeat rate increasing, the oxygen level in your body doesn't diminish and the first signs of distress fade off. Similarly, if you invoke the relaxation words or sounds when you notice that you are getting angry, anxious or nervous, you will see that they vanish and the actual emotion is diffused before it takes over. The third component your emotion system has is your actions, which are driven by your emotions. For example, you start shaking your legs when you are nervous, or avoid looking into other person's eyes when you are not confident or trying to avoid them. These are some actions associated with our emotions. So, how do we control these actions influenced by our emotions? The technique is 1. Recognize and accept the actions. Now that you know that your certain actions are invoked by certain emotions, the first thing required to control them is to recognize and accept them. For example, if you are hiding from your busy boss because you haven't completed the monthly report yet, tell yourself, I'm hiding from my boss because I haven't finished the report which he asked me to do. Or I know I'm shaking my legs because I'm nervous to present the new plan of action before the board. The second thing you need to do is enter into a productive communication with yourself and control your actions. Having recognized these actions, control them, stop them. Now, start talking to yourself. Hiding from boss is not going to solve the problem. He will ask me about the report as soon as he gets free. Let me update him through the email that I was busy doing something else which delayed the report, but it will be ready by tomorrow afternoon. You will see that immediately you will be at rest and the boss will acknowledge it somehow. Some additional techniques which can help you in dealing with these intense emotions are 1. Getting busy. If you feel some intense emotions like that of anger, fear, anxiety, try to get yourself busy in some work which diverts your attention and consumes your energy. Slowly, the emotion would fade off and you will be able to think more rationally. At work, these activities could be like rearranging your desk, filing the papers, clearing the clutter from your drawer, etc. The second thing you can do is laugh. Laughter therapy is the best medicine for many of our problems. The muscles get relaxed and the brain gets de-stressed with the good hormones produced by the body. Share a joke with your friends, read some silly notes or some silly pictures, think about some silly activity you or someone else did in the past, etc. The intense emotions would start diffusing in some time. Third thing you can do is take some time out. If you get into a really hot situation and begin to lose your temper, the best thing to do is to take a short break and come back to discuss it with a cool mind. Emotions are unstoppable. They will keep surfacing. The only requirement is to manage them and use them in an intelligent way to ensure that they give you the best results you desire.